Hello everyone and welcome to a new stream. This is Maldoin and I play puzzle video games among many other things that I do. Among all those, I play puzzle video games and I interview the people who make the games. Today's special stream is not normal, regular, just me, boring Mael. Today is interview and it's been the shortest amount of time between the last interview and today. So be careful what you wish. Here we are. You got what you wanted. Today I have with me Idolan, who is going to talk about Clover's Quadrants. Welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel, to the environment. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Very good. Happy to have you. This has been a long time. We were talking a few minutes before. I think I learned about what you do maybe about 2 years ago, and that's almost when I started doing all this the streaming thing. I don't introduce you now first thing, and it might look like rude, but you'll do it. You'll introduce and talk about you better than I can ever do in a few minutes, because the interview is structured into parts, and I'll explain for everyone who hasn't watched an interview before. The interview is structured into 4 parts, and one of those is about the developer. First is for you very quickly to know, because there might be some who have already watched an interview and it's always the same, minor changes, but first part is very quick questions. It's quick questions, and I'm realizing it's from my point of view, so the questions are short. I don't have to explain much, but the answer, it's not yes or no, so you might develop the answer as much as you want. That's the first part, battery of very quick questions. Second part is about the developer, what they did and where they come from, how they started, and what led them to the situation they are now, releasing a video game. Third part is the largest, and it's where I play the game, and the developer talks about what they did, the design decisions, everything that made the game become together. And the fourth part is a little bit more general questions. It includes the chat questions if there's any, some special questions. For what I know, the interviewee today doesn't know about it, so it will be a little bit of surprise. You'll see. I don't know. You'll see. All things set and ready. Let me check that the sound from your microphone is coming.
Hi. Hello.
See, I don't have.
Keep talking until you tell me to stop. Hello. Yeah, I launched my game today.
All good.
We're good? All right.
Before we start, I want to do one silly thing. I do many silly things, but I did this with Mike, or I should say travel friendly cake, who was the previous guest. I did this. It was not planned, but because it was the first time we had an interview close to the release of the game. Where is it? Action? No, it's action. Events. I should have this prepared. I should remind myself for the future. It's not events. It's timer, commands, sub. They changed the software. I'm using a software and it's not events. It's not timers. It's not timers. Action groups. I lost it. Maybe it's no longer. Here. Channel points. Here and it's not exactly. It's supposed to be for a birthday. Let's see what comes out. Test, because it's released party. I should have a button. I should. Let me try one more. Let's see if, because on the previous interview, the studio is travel friendly cake. There was a cake, appeared a cake. It's set as random, so I can't control it. But woohoo! Today, it's actually today. With travel friendly cake, it was 2 or 3 days after the release, but the release of Clover's Quadrants is today. So everyone, you don't need to wishlist the game anymore. You can buy it and try it after the interview, please. My very first question, while I put everything back in order, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll start with these quick questions. Answer is up to you if it's quick or not.
Okay.
What was your first video game and how old were you?
Oh gosh. I
Come on, it's not that long ago.
I'm 30 years old.
That's very young to me.
Relatively speaking, yeah, I know, but no, I genuinely don't remember. I mean, I can tell you games from my childhood. I remember when I was a kid, I was really into Roller Coaster Tycoon. I can tell you my first console was PlayStation 1. And I played a lot of Spyro and Crash. I think those were the 2 big ones that I played on that console. I can't really remember anything else. But I was also always a PC gamer from the beginning with Roller Coaster Tycoon.
You were like 5, 6?
Probably, yeah.
All interviews are 5 years old. I don't know. Don't remember Mike, but they all say I was 5 when I played my first video game. I was 9. It was Super Mario World. Do you watch anime?
Do I watch anime? Not really. It's not something that I seek out. There might be a one-off thing. Like I watched the first season of Dungeon Meshi because I had already read all the manga, but also I don't really read much manga. Dungeon Meshi is the exception.
When you watch, do you watch it subbed or dubbed?
Subs or dubs? I mean, it depends. If the dub is good, I'll watch it with the dub. But otherwise, sub. I would rather have subs over a bad dub.
Favorite puzzle video game?
My favorite puzzle game. Here's the thing. I'm not good at picking favorites. I'm very much the kind of person who sees things for their positive qualities and their negative qualities, and so it's like, okay, this is my favorite in terms of how it accomplishes these things, but this other game is my favorite in terms of how it accomplishes these other things. But if I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be Portal. And it's a weird choice because it's like, in terms of, I mean, I've heard people say that it's not even a puzzle game. I think that's kind of a weird thing to say, but like it is very much the qualities of that game. I think it's a cool mechanic. The puzzles are, I mean, they work. But I think it's just the world and atmosphere that they created is really something special. And I would say it's my favorite game that is a puzzle game, even if I'm not necessarily liking it for its puzzle qualities. Does that make sense?
Noru in the chat says that you should pick your own game. Do you think your game... I think it's... The comment is tricky. So my questions are supposed to be easy questions. I think his comment is a tricky comment, because I think you are a perfectionist. For a perfectionist person, or maybe I'm talking about me, it's always something to improve, something you can do better. You know your own work, so you know the flaws better than anyone. Would you say you love your game because you did it because you wanted to be like it is? But would you choose your game?
Would I choose my own game as my favorite puzzle game? No. It's exactly what you said. Like I know where all the flaws are. Or at least, I mean, there's a bunch of flaws that I know of. I'm sure I'm gonna find more as people actually get to play through the whole thing. Yeah, there's definitely certain anxieties, especially around, like, I don't know, the later parts of the game. Fewer people have seen that. It's a little bit less play tested than the rest of the game. I think it's still going to be good. I don't want to deter anyone from trying out the game, but yeah, I know where the flaws are.
In non-puzzle video game, maybe the question is like not the favorite, as you said, I like this part of this game, this part of this other game. It's not as a whole, but one that impacted you the most on your way of on your personality, or the way you understand the world, or something that it moved you. So, non-puzzle video game.
Non-puzzle. In terms of game that had the biggest impact on me, it would have to be Team Fortress 2. That's not even a debate. But the reason I say that is because I was in the custom mapping community for that game for over a decade. And I mean, that game is why I got into architecture in the first place. So like the job that I have right now, I kind of owe it to the fact that I picked up Team Fortress 2 as a kid.
Maybe this a little bit of spoiler for what's coming next, and some questions for those who don't know you might seem a little bit random. Maybe they are not random. Maybe you find out about what's behind later in the interview. You just need to watch. Do you have a favorite architect?
Favorite architect? Gosh. We're getting back to the whole multiple favorites thing. I like.
That's
Paul
the last
Rudolph.
one.
I like Paul Rudolph, Alvar Aalto, and Louis Kahn. I think are my three, like, sort of like of the greats of like past history. If we want to talk about contemporary architects, I would probably go with Lacaton and Vasson, or Vassal. Lacaton and Vassal, and Lake Flotto.
I like your answer. You had said something's different, maybe we stop the interview here, but we can continue. You are allowed. So we are midway through the year. Do you have a GOTY? Something a game that you think this is going to win, or that you want it to win as a best of the year?
Oh, so like what awards do I think my game is going to win?
No. So all the puzzle games that has been released up to now this year.
Oh, of the year.
Yeah. Which one? It's again double question. Which one's your GOTY for puzzle and non-puzzle?
Oh, GOTY. Sorry, I've never heard GOTY pronounced like that. That's why I was confused. Okay.
Okay. So you say GOTY. That's too long.
GOTY or just Game of the Year.
In maybe because I heard people in Spain. I'm originally from Spain. If someone doesn't know, they say GOTY because it's a word and it's GO is go and TI it's T. Maybe because I don't talk to people in English about this, but yeah, GOTY. I need to make a note about this.
Of games that I have played that came out this year, the clear winner is Artisan of Glimmet. It's not even close. I didn't quite 100% that game, but I did put about 70 hours into it. And if we want to look ahead a little bit, I am really excited for Trifolium. I'm really looking forward to that one.
That's a later question, but it's okay. There's they go in groups of 3, and the next group is most anticipated game. You said Trifolium.
Trifolium, yeah.
Not to be confused with Trifoil.
Yes, I am also excited about Trifoil. I do like that general sort of like path drawing game.
So out of the non-puzzle video games, which one will be your GOTY?
Game of the year that isn't a puzzle game?
Goat. No ruses. GOTY is the hair in the chin. The goatee.
I'm looking at. Oh, I totally forgot. Artisan of Glimmet. I do want to shout out Bento Blocks as another puzzle game that I played this year that I really liked. But I would place that a little bit below Artisan of Glimmet. Game of the year, generally speaking. Gosh, what do I even play that isn't a puzzle game?
You might be the only person in the world that plays games released on that year. Because whatever I play, it's not a puzzle game, it's like from 3+ years.
Yeah, I'm looking through my Steam list right now, and there's not a lot here that I will say I have not played it yet. I am very excited to play it, especially now that I have the time to play it. But Love Eternal came out this year, and Love Eternal. I'm pretty excited to play that one.
How many? This is not prepared. It's not on my list. It's an extra question. How many hours in Artisan of Glimmet?
69.9.
Very interesting. That's a lot. A lot. And have you finished it, or?
I got to like 1,000. I shouldn't spoil how many. There's at least 1,000 puzzles in the game. I think I had like 15 puzzles that I didn't finish. All at the very end of the game. I completely finished all the islands except the final one.
Interesting that you say islands, because there are islands floating, but it throws me back to islands of inside. Next question. One thing that you would hopefully very quickly. One thing that you would change about the games industry.
One thing I would change about the games industry.
Out of the many that you could choose. It could be something close to you, or it could be general.
I think the big thing is just job security, especially right now. Like, I didn't go into the games industry specifically because I knew the working conditions were just not very good, and I knew that getting a degree in that would not be a wise financial decision. So that's why I went into architecture instead. And it has made me really sad. Like, I have a bunch of friends who are in the games industry, and I would say over half of them have lost their jobs within the last few years. Some of them have gotten new jobs or completely changed industries, but it's really rough out there right now.
Do you think it's a geographical thing? It's related to where one lives, or it's totally unrelated?
I mean, it seems to be kind of everywhere. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with where studios are located. Yeah, I don't know.
This is starting to look like part 4 of the interview, so let me finish this blog with the very last question. So if how do you say, stay with me on this one. If cows like moo, if cows only eat grass, why are they so fat? Because if they were eating McDonald's, for example, I could say you are what you eat, but they are eating vegetables.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can eat too much of anything, but also, I mean, I think that's just I don't know too much about cows, so I don't actually know why. I assume they're just supposed to look like that. That's just what their bodies do.
Just for you to know, first block, last question, the answer from the interview is always the same. Just for you to know. It's supposed to be a open-ended question, not rhetorical, but everyone can come to their own conclusions. And with this thought in mind, let me lower a little bit the music. With this image in our minds, we'll move to the second part where we talk about you as a developer and everything that you did before and up to the point where we are now, or where you are now, releasing a game on Steam and on itch. Yes, both. I'll let you know where to find it at the end, so you can concentrate on the interview. So you are releasing a game as Two-Headed Deer. Who is Two-Headed Deer, and are you a solo developer?
So I think calling myself a solo developer it's accurate in the sense that people kind of have an understanding of what solo developer means. But like, I did pay other people to work on the game. Specifically, there are some textures I mean, basically all of the art assets in the game are either stock textures or they are textures that I paid people to make for me. I did a little bit of the original work myself, but a lot of the art assets have other people's hands on them. I also paid someone to just sort of consult on the user experience, user interface side of things, and she and I also went through the entire game and basically just changed changed the name of every level, just to try and get that all like unified and thought through. And then I also paid a few people for translations.
So two-headed deer is you.
Yep.
You are not. I guess when one says solo developer is when, like you said, it's you in the room. You can outsource some parts of the game, but you don't take decisions with someone. It's just one person taking the decisions, the design decisions. Yep. Is it your day job?
No.
And that's the shortest ever answer to a question I ever had. Did you have to did you study something before starting game development? It started as a hobby, or?
So I mean, when I was in like middle school, high school, I did game development stuff as a hobby. And then when I went to college, I studied architecture. And during that whole time, I was still doing game development as a hobby. And now I have a full-time job as an architect. But I do game development on the side.
So what led you to become a game developer? Initially, when you started, it was pure for fun or for curiosity, or did you started for fun, but one day I want to reach this goal, which is not, doesn't have to be like, oh, I want to be the best in this field, but maybe the goal is I want to make something someone can have fun, someone can enjoy, or someone can pay for it. What's the motivation? What led you to start?
I think it's a mixture of things. One is, I mean, I just like playing video games. I think a big portion of it is I have an older brother who, I mean, I don't know why he got into game development, but he was doing game development as a hobby back when we were both kids, and I was interested in what he was doing, and I wanted to do it too. But also, I think, like, I mean, even before I was really doing like game development proper, I was always really drawn to games that had their own level editors, because I really liked making levels. And I think that, I mean, that's ultimately what got me into architecture, but I think that's also like one of the things that I've always just really enjoyed about game development, and it's one of the things that I always want to do. I often, like, when I'm ideating new game ideas, I usually stick to ideas that allow me to do a lot of level design, as opposed to something like Tetris, which is just like completely like, here's your grid and that's the game.
Is Clover's Quadrants your first game?
No. So I've been making games in some capacity since I was like 12, and now I'm 30. Clover's isn't even my first commercial game. About 10 years ago, I made a game called Regions. You can go find that for free on itch. It used to be a paid game. It was released on Dashura. I don't know if anyone's going to know what Dashura is, but it never made enough money to where I actually got like a payout or anything. So I never saw any money from it until I brought it over to Itch. And I've done a whole bunch of game jams, a whole bunch of free games. A lot of that stuff, I mean, it's on websites that are broken or don't exist anymore. So I think a decent amount of that stuff is just kind of lost to time. But yeah, I've been making games for a long time. Clover's is not even remotely close to my first game, but it is the first game that I've released on Steam.
You also made still make levels or maps for games, not whole entire video games, but you did. For which games or game?
So mostly Source Engine stuff. So I got really into Portal, made some Portal maps, made some maps for Team Fortress 2, made some maps for Half-Life 2, and with Team Fortress 2, I hope I'm not getting ahead of a question you have lined up here, but
it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. One of the maps that I made for Team Fortress 2 actually got not purchased but licensed by Valve, and so it was included in the game officially, and yeah, that was really crazy and exciting. That was over 10 years ago, and then I spent another 10 years making more and more Team Fortress 2 maps with the intent of getting them licensed, and it never happened again, which is part of why I kind of shifted my focus over to doing game development instead of making maps as much. Because making maps for Team Fortress 2 is really time consuming.
Something that I need to make you aware of is that almost everything that you mentioned, there will have where the chat is now. On the edited interview, I will put images of what you are talking about. So I can't do it live, obviously, but in the edited version, if you say I did this or that so long ago, I will find it and I will post the image next to you where the chat is. So anyone who is still or who is interested in that, if I can find it, or what can happen is that if I can't find it and there's something that you mentioned that I will ask you, hey, can you share with me a reference for this or that?
Yep.
So you were doing all these maps, playing with level editors and making jam games or non-jam games. At some point you reach, I want to make Clover's Quadrants, which wasn't called like that in the beginning, but at some point you made a decision to do something, if not bigger or maybe different or something, a finished product maybe. What was that decision? Why did you make the decision to make Clover's Quadrants? What happened at that point in time?
What happened was I just kind of on a whim decided to enter a game jam. It was the Acerola game jam, the first one that they ever did. I don't know if they've even done any others, but it was the Acerola Jam Zero. And I made a game called UDLR Modify for that, and that game ended up doing like really well. There were like 1,000 entries, and it ended up placing 26th, I think. And it was also like one of the most popular like Aliens Rocketed video on it, and it a lot of people to look at it. I'm just like, oh, I have something really good here. I need to turn this into a full game because I have ideas on how I can make this a bigger thing.
So my next question is, how long did it take to make Clover's Quadrants? So let me split the question. When was this that you had this game jam?
Let me look real quick.
1990.
I published the Jam game in March of 2024.
2024. That's
Yep.
two years ago. And when you saw it, the game had interest, or people were interested, that's when you decided to make it a full game and fully developed. So
Yep.
it's taken 2 years to make.
Yes.
What's the most important lesson you've learned making it? And this and the next question I'll ask later. They are a little bit more for those people who are interested in doing what you are doing and maybe becoming fully or partially game developers as a hobby or as a full-time job. Those who are interested and want to follow your steps, not specifically for them, it's for everyone to know, but with them in mind, these two questions, your advice goes to them. What's the most important lesson you've learned making Clover's Quadrants?
Most important lesson. Oh my gosh. There's definitely been a lot of lessons that I've learned.
You can mention more than one.
Okay. One is it's better to have a shorter game than a longer game. It's better to have a game that's a little bit too short than a game that's too long. During playtesting, I found the game used to have an extra chapter, and I found through playtesting that like there were multiple people who just stopped playing the game once they got to a certain chapter, and I realized it was because that chapter just didn't really have anything exciting or new in it. It was complicated reasons why that chapter had existed, but basically I just took the levels in that chapter and distributed them to where they would belong in other chapters. And so I ended up cutting a few puzzles, but I cut out an entire chapter while making all of the other chapters a little bit longer. And that ended up just, it made a much better game. It kept the pacing a little bit more. There was an entire chapter dedicated to something that people didn't seem to really resonate with.
It's a comment that I often hear, like it's don't overscope, like do something that you can finish, and I keep hearing it, and I keep hearing people repeating the same advice, but people still keep making the same mistakes. And I believe it's because when you are developing an idea, maybe it applies to many fields, but in game development it could be something like you isolate. That's how I imagine. If you're a solo developer, you isolate yourself and you do something on your own. You don't have like feedback, and you easily can go beyond your capabilities, or not that you are unable or incapable of doing it, but taking into account the time constraint, but you can do this, but it will take you 10 years. Let's make half, and maybe you can make it in 2 years, not 5 but 2.
Yeah, so sometime after release, I don't know when this is going to happen because I want to take a break and not do game development for a little bit, but I am working on a separate level pack of what I'm calling scraps. So it's basically levels that didn't make the final cut. They were cut for whatever reason. Maybe they had alternate solutions that kind of ruined them, or they just weren't very good, or they didn't fit into the progression of the chapter. That pack, as it stands right now, is substantially longer than the game itself. So, to put it another way, over half of the content that I made for the game in terms of levels did not make the final cut.
It's not something outrageous. Like it can happen.
Yeah.
You do like 300 levels, and then when you make the game, I'm going to pick the 50 or the 100 that are the best, and it'll be a good product. Rather than, oh, just because I made them, I'll put them, and you play them if you want. It's like it dilutes the final result. So outside of Clover's Quadrants and the process of making it, your experience with the project, outside of that, that's the last question for this blog. What's your best advice for aspiring devs? Would still be make a short game? Could be another piece of advice.
What I would recommend, there's a couple things I would recommend. One, don't try to make money. Or rather, don't rely on this for money. Do not get into game development with the intent of trying to make a living off of it, because it is extremely difficult, extremely nerve-wracking, from what I understand. And it is just not a wise decision if you need money. The other thing that I would say, I had something else in my head. What was it? Advice for aspiring game developers. Make web games. Make free web games. Get Godot and make games to play in your browser on itch. Because if you are someone who does not have an established fan base, one, you're going to have some amount of difficulty of getting anyone to play your game on Steam. Plus, launching a game on Steam is a lot of extra work. There is so much work that goes into releasing a game on Steam. Whereas with itch, making a web game and releasing it on itch, you upload a zip file, you fill out some data about the game, like its description and title and all of that, and then you can just send a link to people, and people can play your game, and they don't have to worry about downloading a sketchy exe. And that's the thing. It's like, if you have to download a free game to play it, you're missing the majority of your potential audience, because most people don't really like downloading random exes from people they've never heard of and just running them. It's not a smart thing to do.
When you say web games, you mean small games that are very easily accessible, but it could be as well a free game on Steam, like release on Steam and be free.
When I say web game, what I mean is you can play it in your web browser.
Not necessarily have to be. So it's you see it as different from releasing on Steam for free?
Yes, because releasing on Steam, like there's a whole bunch of extra work that has to go into how you like distribute builds, and it's a thing I would recommend if you're making the kind of game that isn't going to work in a browser. But I would say the majority of the time, I think it's just going to be a better bet, because there's just a lower barrier of entry. It's less difficult to get your game on there and get people to play it. Because even if it's a free game on Steam, like if you're trying to find playtesters, you need to go find people and give them like keys so that they can install the game through Steam on their computer and then run the game and do all that. It's just literally just you send some people a link and they can just play it in their web browser.
But you can release on Steam for $0.
Yep.
You don't need to send keys. You can.
I'm talking about playtesting before you release the game.
Okay. Yeah. I'll come back to what you mentioned about not making a game with the money intent. I'll come back to that later in the fourth group because I have some topics to talk about that. Noru says that agrees with that comment about not making a game for money.
Yeah, that too. You gotta pay $100 just to get a game on there, even if you don't make any money off of it.
He says you have to pay Steam for a free game.
Yep.
I didn't know that. You have to. So I know you have to pay a fee, like to have a demo or a project and everything else. Like if you make an entry on the database, it's like $100 or something, and then you can do the rest of the developer.
Yeah, there's no like additional fee to release a free game, but you still have to pay that $100 up front, even if you're releasing a paid game or a free game.
Okay. Yeah. I knew about that, but I forgot because it's like not common sense. Like I think of Steam like, for example, eBay. Like they make money, a percentage of money from what you make, or like a publisher. If you win, they win, but not as they win anyway, even if you don't. Happy Capitalism Day today. Let's move on to the game. Onto the game block.
All right.
I say we. I want to think it's everybody's. I carry everyone with me, but I will be playing. I'll be in the controls, but everyone can participate. Let's move on to the game block. So I'll start it, and I have it on Steam. I made sure this time, because last stream I had an inconvenience. I made sure the game is installed. And we move scene. We change to here. Actually, side note, I discovered why my games start and then they close and then they start again. I think I know. It's because my antivirus, my virus protection. It's like it starts the game and it puts it in kind of a separate window / quarantine zone, and it checks it's good to go. Then it closes and then it properly starts the game. Nothing to do with the interview. It's just a me problem. It's on a window. It's on a window. Make it full. Options, yes. And then it says full screen, but it's not. This is window.
That's odd. Well, full screen is not exclusive full screen. It's just a window that takes up the full screen.
Game volume, music volume. This is like the master, right? Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like I'll have it 10. Maybe it's a problem because I want to show the music as well of the game, but we need to be able to hear each other, and I need to hear myself as well. So I think that's all good to go. It did ask me, not in this instance, it did ask me before when I checked the game was installed that if I wanted to carry over my save or my progress from the demo, just for anyone who has tried the demo, so they know they can continue from there. I chose not to because no one has to have seen me playing before. So we'll start over. And we go here. It says 94. Main campaign, file A, 0%, 0 out of 94. That's the total number of levels?
Yep.
Okay. So... Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Chapter 2. Let's start with 1. I think I can explain, but I tend to over-explain. So I'll let you do it. You can explain. This is chapter 1. There's a 1 on the screen, and these stickers, these blue, red, circle, squared out, the levels.
Yeah, if you go left from here, it'll show you the what the symbols mean.
Okay. Give me a sec that I bring back my windows. I lost one. Well. Give me a sec. Oh well. I hope they are fine. Okay, back to the game. You who's on the chat says, I've never seen this game before. It looks interesting. It is very interesting. It'll be even more interesting when I show you, or when you see how it's actually played. How to play. Clover's Quadrants is designed to be a hands-on learning experience. Experiment. And I was hoping you, I don't want to explain the game, so you don't want to initially. Not like I am a evil person, but the game is supposed to be a bit of a knowledge base, self-discovery, right? That's what this means. Be curious and try to break things. I'm a specialist on that. There are hints and skips if you get stuck. Good luck and have fun, Annie. Level legend. So circle introduces a concept. Square expands on a concept. And yellow or diamond optional challenge. Okay. So there are 10, initially 10, one extra. Let's get into it. So this is level... Wait, this is... Now we are choosing levels, okay. We get into it. Maybe I feel like I have to explain. Because I know. It's like I know and I want you to know. But it's a bit...
I can explain it if you want.
It's a bit of a... Because I am playing, I can discover. But whoever is watching, they don't know what keys or buttons in the keyboard I am pressing, so they might have a little bit of harder time understanding what's happening. So for example, now the character is enclosed. The only thing I can do is go up. If I go up, oh, it's not WASD, it's the arrows.
Arrow keys. Yep.
So we've moved up one square, and apparently the green symbol, the green diamond that was on the level, it has disappeared. We've taken over, but we've taken it with us, and that's what the top right corner is showing. We've picked up this it's not an icon, it's what would you call it?
I call them tokens.
Token, yeah. We picked up this token while we were moving up. Let's leave it there. Let's see what happens. We can... So these white circles, they are showing our possible moves, right?
Yep.
So we can move in all 4 directions. if we move left, then we are picking up this new token. New, but it's same green diamond. But then we got into this situation where we can have a new one where there's one already. So this presents a situation, a problem that we need to find. A puzzle is a problem asking for a solution. But let's find a solution to this problem. Now we can't go left or go up. Apparently, it seems like the black diamond at the top might be the exit. We don't know what that does. To reset is R. Yes, it says restart. Let's restart. So initially we can only go up. That tells me that we can't finish the level going up. So we need to remove the green token that's in between us and the exit by moving left. So we cannot pick any other token before going left. And then we can move up. We still can't move up. Let's pick all four, see what happens. If we pick up all four, then the black diamond turns into an exit. The finish flag. You win. Next menu. Next. Let's go next. Okay. I had my first question for this blog. It was short description for you, a short description of the game, but it doesn't apply because it's a discovery game. So maybe it's going to be difficult if it's going to be much of discovery and you can't talk about what's happening. Going to be a little bit difficult.
I can talk about what's happening. I don't mind talking about what's happening, especially this early into the game. You know, it's designed to be able to be learned as you're playing it, but I think at least for these early levels, it's really not like a spoiler territory. So yeah, the basic idea is that your character has 4 different sides, and you can pick items up in the 4 different slots that you have. So like when you move rightward into a token, it picks up a token on your right side. And then when you're holding a token, that will affect that direction of movement. So when you're holding a 2 token to the right, it means that you will move 2 spaces to the right instead of just 1. So you see the white circle, sort of like the move preview there. That's 2 spaces out from the player instead of 1. That's the basic idea of the game. Each chapter introduces a new concept. So the second chapter introduces a new mechanic. The third chapter introduces a new token. The fourth, fifth, and sixth chapter all introduce new tokens. The 7th chapter is just kind of like putting it all together. Just like, here's what happens when you put all of the tokens together, all the different token types. And then the last chapter is just sort of a little send off.
8 in total.
Yep.
When I tried the demo, I think I played one demo. I think there's been more than one. I'm not sure. More than one demo. I played one that it didn't have these white dots. And
yes. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say that they are very convenient.
Yeah, so I added that as an assist feature, as well as another thing that you're going to see in a few levels. And I think they were in the demo, but they were what I called assist features, just stuff you can turn on to make the game easier. But what I found when watching people play the demos were that nobody was turning them on. Um, but I was also convinced that like they would really help people play the game, so I just made them on by default. And I've gotten a lot of comments from people about how useful those tools are.
Well, that was I was one of those because I didn't play with it activated, and I don't usually go onto unless I have a problem that I want a solution or try to find a solution. I don't usually go to options. Usually it's just screen and sound. So second question was what makes it unique, but I think that's what the way of playing it, I think the most unique thing you could say it's how you play it, because you maybe there's been another game before like you can do this, I don't know, but I haven't played a game like this before.
I want to say there's a Michael Bro game. I think that's how you say his name. I forget. Magpie by Michael Bro has a similar mechanic to this, where you have like 4 different inventory slots and one on each of your sides. But that was more in, I mean, it's a Bro like, so it's like a 5x5 grid, and you're like fighting enemies and trying to survive as long as you can. So completely different type of game, but similar idea.
I'm making mistakes, but I am finding solutions for them. You told me before how the project started. Did you have point of inspiration or something that, oh, I want to make my game, my future game, that's going to be Clover Quadrants, based on this, or I like this but I would do it differently? What inspired making Clover Quadrants?
I mean it's a long series of decisions that I made. So like I had this idea for a game that I don't know if I'm gonna make it yet or not. But a platformer game. I don't remember where this idea came from, but it was an idea for a platformer game where it's a Metroidvania where you're unlocking new like movement tech that allows you to get to new areas, but all of the movement tech would be like these modules that you have to like plug in to be able to use them, and you've only got like a couple of ability slots. So like you have you know, as you go through the game, it's like, oh, I have 5 different abilities, but I can only have 2 of them equipped at the same time, and I can only swap what I have equipped at certain locations. And so it gets into sort of like precision platformer kind of stuff, but you have to think about which abilities you want to have to be able to get through a section. I found myself completely unable to make platformer physics that were actually like that like felt nice to use. So I never finished that game. It didn't get particularly far, but I always had that idea in the back of my mind of like a game where you can sort of like rebind your controls, so to speak. And then this jam came around, and then I was just like, oh, this idea, maybe I can do something with this idea for the jam. And I mentally went through a few different ideas until eventually I landed on this. So that was, I guess, the inspiration was just taking my old idea and working with it a bunch until it turned into something else. But in terms of like the game design, I mean, I couldn't point to any specific inspiration.
Did you say the name of this Metroidvania game? Or I missed it?
It's just a project of mine that I never finished. It doesn't have a name.
Ah, okay, okay. So your inspiration for Clover's Quadrants is your own game, your unfinished project.
Yeah.
Like it.
And I really like taking old projects and trying to find something, because I have a lot of stuff that I've just never finished, and I like taking old ideas and sort of reworking them into something better.
Find it interesting. It's like you could interpret it as the old project, this Metroidvania game, is still it's the same. The evolution of that project is Clover Quadrant. It's like it could be the same thing, but you see it as two different things.
Yeah.
Game has, I know, but I want you to say it for viewers. A game has story.
Does the game have story? No. It's very deliberate. It's very much the idea of like, I've had this idea in my head for a while about narrative in games and media in general, of like doing. I mean, it's like a lot of the books that I read are. It's weird to call them nonfiction because they're not like history, but they're like academic. It's like theory. And that's kind of the direction I took with the game, is that there's no fiction, but it's not non-fiction. It's not a story that's based in reality. It's just there is no story. And I treat the like in the intro text, I include my name, Anya, in there, and it's a very deliberate choice to try and like give the feeling that this is just. I'm struggling to articulate exactly what I mean, but
Like you're an author, or
yeah, I mean it is just a very direct conversation between me and the player. There's not really a layer of fiction in between.
You are finding out one thing that usually happens in the interviews, that it's very hard to play the game at the same time. But yeah. I must say, I'm getting better. I would like to stop for a moment and say something. I'll hide your camera because behind you, if I can find you on the, I think it's this one, if I don't break anything. Behind you, it says the icon that we saw before. Now this one is a red square. It's back to the game. I wanted to show you that. So while you are playing a level, you know if it's optional, if it's introducing a concept, or if it's developing a concept. It might give you a clue. For example, I'm thinking I can't skip this one, so I have to do it. Have to avoid all the voices and focus. But as for viewers, talking about mechanics, you mentioned there are 8 chapters and each chapter introduces a concept, but we cannot. It's going to be very difficult. Bear with me, dear viewer. We cannot talk about something that you need to discover. So I need to find a way to talk about it without talking about it. For start, this level, it seems like it wants me to finish here. That's what I'm trying to do. But I'm failing. So maybe I'm not finishing here. What I can do is, if I restart, I can go to that tile if I am here, because up is 2, up is 2, and right is 2. That's what I'm also trying to do, but I'm not managing. So I pick the other 2 before those, but then it's blocked. Maybe it's those 2, but in the opposite order. So first is this one, then is this one. It still blocks going down because it's impossible to go there. I didn't see this on the demo either.
Yeah, this one is new.
I mean, the level I don't remember, but the good thing that I am replaying it, I might remember some levels from the demo, but I absolutely don't remember the solution. And I always say the same. It's like when I hear people saying, I don't watch puzzle streamers because once you know the solution, there's no point. And I think, oh, so you've never rewatched a movie. You've never seen a movie twice. That's your favorite movie. And second point is, so you've watched a puzzle video game streamer playing a game, and by the time you play the game, even if it's right after the stream, I'm sure you will remember all 100 solutions for the levels that this streamer played. I play a lot of puzzles. I don't remember the solutions. Close, but not. Let's try get this one first, maybe. I missed one question. I'm realizing now, because I want to talk about that. I missed one question because I swapped order and then I missed it. From the first block, let me ask you, because it's fitting for the topic, let's talk about the music. And my previous question was, what's the genre of music that you make?
Gosh. So the music that I make, I mean, it's very broadly in the realm of electronic and ambient and dance. You know, it's hard to describe myself.
You are saying all the genres.
It's hard to say, like, specifically, because I do a decent variety of stuff. I can say that for this game in particular, I was inspired by trip hop, specifically with the production of the drums. You know, it's a lot of drum loops that have been slowed down and the pitch down, and then there's delay and echo and ambient pads in the background. So it's a mix of ambient and trip hop. It's kind of similar to Tom Schley, if you know who that is. They did part of the soundtrack for Signalis. I really like his music. And it was definitely a reference point for me for the music for Clovers.
I don't know that person you mentioned. Can you say the name again? Because I'll put the reference.
Tom Schley. He also goes by 1,000 Eyes.
If I used to listen a lot of music, but not anymore because of life. I think I know the problem with this level. My problem with this level. If I had to say, and maybe you can, even though you have described it already, let me tell me how wrong I am. If I had to guess a genre, I would say is industrial dubstep. I would have said. How wrong
That's
would have been.
that's what you think that this is?
Not this, the music that you make. Not the music
Oh, the
from
music that I make in general.
Clover's Quadrants, but the music that at least maybe I should specify. Not all of the music, but the one I listened previous to the interview, it sounded to me like
Okay.
I should specify.
Yeah, I mean I do a variety of stuff. Yeah, I do not stick to just one genre.
For some reason, I was speaking. Maybe I have one brain cell. Half of it is dedicated to the interview. The other half is sleeping. But I think the level, because I am playing a little bit subconsciously, the level was making me think that I had to pick some of the red tokens in a specific way, because they are like up, down, left and right. So left and right, I have to pick them as left and right. But I found out that you can pick them up and down. That was my problem. So you made the music for Clover's Quadrants.
Yep.
This is a new token. It's black and it's a 0. Okay, so green is 1 dot. It's 1 step. Orange and red, depending on who you ask, it's 2 dots, and that's dubstep. No, that's a joke. It's 2 steps, and black one is a circle, empty. It's 0, so we can't go back to that. So if we pick up the one on the right, then we can no longer move left or right. Okay, that's how it works. That's why this one you viewers can't see, but it has a blue circle. Let me show you. There's a blue circle here. That's because it's a new concept. There are 94 levels in the game. Is that maybe I shouldn't be asking? I'm afraid of asking questions now. Oh gosh. I'll ask. You answer the best way you can.
Okay.
Is that it? 94 levels? Or
Yeah, there are no secrets in the game. I will just say that up front. There's no secret hunting or anything.
I'm in the situation like, yeah, you can say I'm not answering, but you say I'm not answering, that means there's something to say about it. So
yeah, it was a very deliberate decision. I think I don't know. I think secret hunting can be fun, but it really doesn't belong in every game. And I decided it didn't really have a spot in this game either.
everybody's waiting for me to move forward. Tell me about the design process of the levels.
Design process of the levels. So a lot of the time, for most of the levels, it was about trying to find some specific mixture of concepts or mechanics that none of the other levels were doing. So for example, the puzzle that you're on right now is, okay, we've got 0 tokens, but how do we take the 0 tokens and mix that with the concept of parity? So that's how this puzzle was made. Was just figuring out how to take that combination of concepts and make something out of it. as for actually designing the puzzles, it's just so much trial and error. Um, I, I don't know if I could really describe my puzzle making process beyond just a lot of trial and error.
How many did you said 300, or that was an example before?
Oh, that no, not 300. I would say total I mean at least 200, maybe 220 levels that I made total, and then only 94 of them made the cut.
It's like half.
Yeah.
Oh no. I had or you can undo a reset, a restart.
Yep.
Okay. The questions are piling up now. So you made over 200, you end up with almost 100, and then you pick them up, or you chose them because of they are interesting. Or I see sometimes developers making like a grid, like I have mechanic A, B, C, D, E, etc. And then on the vertical, on the columns or rows, and the same. And then if I mix this mechanic with this mechanic, it makes this interesting interaction / concept. That's how you chose which ones they made the cut.
I mean that's how I decided which puzzles needed to be made. Was just like trying to explore the full space of possibilities and um make puzzles to explore all the different ideas in the game. I didn't literally make a grid like that. I don't know. I just kind of kept working on it until I ran out of ideas.
But the ones that you ended up with, it's like more like a feeling, or you had playtesting and the feedback made you choose ones or the others, or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, I mean, some of it was playtesting. A lot of it was just personal gut feeling. And also a lot of it, like I would say a decent the number one reason why a puzzle got cut was because it had alternate solutions. One of the things that I found when making this game was that because the only mechanics in the game are just where can you walk and where can you not walk, and then tokens, those are the only things in the entire game. There's no like buttons and doors or blocks that you can push. That it made it a lot more difficult to design puzzles and like sort of foolproof them to try and when there was an alternate solution, a lot of the times it was just like, oh, this is fundamentally impossible for me to fix without just making a completely different puzzle. So that's why there's so much cut content.
I would imagine if you want to fix a level in that regard, like it has two solutions. You want one to be the legitimate, the proper one, the one that you want the player to go through, so they realize of the process that you want them, you want to show them. I imagine you removing one square and that's it. Like it breaks the branching, but it's not always possible.
Yeah.
Need to end up in here. I learned from my mistakes. Now I can pick any in two directions. The problem is choosing which one. If I pick up this one, then I can pick up this one. I'm thinking I don't have to go back up, so I don't need to go up, but I need to go down and then up. And the same applies in reverse. So if I pick up this one and this one, just the two, I don't need to go down, but I do, because I need to pick up these ones. And I need to go to the exit. And surely this one is not last. This token is not last because I need to move 1 and 1. So I'm picking it up first. Is it up or is it right? While I find out, which is not the point to see me finding out, tell me about difficulty. How did you balance difficulty? It's because of the amount of mechanics involved on the level, or it was based on feedback from players?
A lot of it was feedback. A lot of it was just kind of gut feeling. But I also knew that I wanted to make a challenging game. So I just tried not to worry too much about making sure that the difficulty curve was smooth, because it's very much like some of my favorite puzzle games are the ones that really like pushed me and made me really stick with each level. And so I wanted to make that kind of game. So I wasn't too afraid of providing a puzzle that was going to get players stuck.
But it can get to the point that they are so stuck that they can't continue, and then there are two possibilities. They rage quit, or they quit because even though they want to keep playing, they can't.
So I mean, there is a lot of flexibility built into the game. So there's a few things. One is that the level select menu actually does not have any restrictions in it.
Oh.
You can't go to a chapter until you've unlocked it. But like you can do the levels within a chapter in literally any order that you want.
Ah, interesting. I didn't know that.
So if you want to skip ahead, then you can. That's also part of why there are those symbols, so that like if you get stuck on something, you can skip ahead to the next blue circle, and that might allow you to keep playing. The other couple of things, if you go back to the level that you were playing,
1.9 or 1.8?
1.9. Yep. It doesn't matter which one. If you open the level and go to the pause menu, there is there's a skip button and there is a hint button.
Skip level, it takes me to the next one. Skips this one.
It takes you to the next one, but importantly, it marks it with a skip icon, and it counts it as complete, at least as far as chapter completion is considered. It will mark it, and it will count it. So that level counts as completed in terms of unlocking chapter 2.
Yeah. It puts a stamp as I've skipped it, but in the progress it says 9 out of 10. So it's
exactly
okay. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I've seen freedom, like you are at a point where you can choose more than one and then you can go back, but there's always a limit on how much freedom you have, obviously for obvious reasons. But then there's the radical other option, which is an option which is usually on the options. It's unlock all levels in case you have problem with one, but it's a radical solution. Like just for one level, do you want to skip or avoid, or you can't finish for some reason, you are making the rest whole game available and open, and it's up to the player to behave and keep playing one by one, which is also in their favor.
It's very much.
Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
not trusting the player. Yeah.
Because there's a process. It's a learning process. So you have to play. If you want to skip level B, that's fine. But then you need to play level C, even though you have level M unlocked, because there's something in between that you need to know to be able to finish level M. So another thing that I usually say is that I have the feeling, I haven't heard many people say it. It's not related to Clover's Quadrants. It's in puzzle games in general. Haven't heard many people, so it's might be the idea might be created by me. Is that people think that puzzle games are for intelligent people, and that's not true. The puzzle games are for curious people who have questions and they want to look for answers. They don't have to be intelligent as the general idea of what intelligent means. You don't have to be wise to be able to play a puzzle game, because puzzle games, if they are properly well designed, they teach you what you need to do. And every puzzle game has their own rules that you don't have to have a degree to be able to play.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes in the idea that you have to play the game in order, even though that you can skip levels. And maybe it's an epiphany thing, that maybe that day it happens to me. I can finish a level, I come for 1 hour, and usually it's when I'm close to after 40 minutes playing a level, I start to think that this is a case of me coming back tomorrow and solving it in 5 minutes. And it always happens. Always. It's like, for some reason, I have a plan, I'm trying to embed this plan into the level, but it can't go through because that's not the solution. The morning after, I come back with fresh mind. I don't have any idea, any presumptions, and then I find the solution because I'm fresh. My mind is clear. Hello, Jagriff. Question. I'll keep it for later, or is my skill levels teaching essential? I might ask now if it fits with the topic. I ask, or otherwise I'll keep for the last. He's asking, is there a concept that players might skip levels teaching essential knowledge and then have even more trouble with subsequent chapters? That's what I was talking about. Would you like to comment?
It's definitely a possibility. And I think that just kind of comes down to trusting the player to mediate their own experience. It's absolutely a possibility. And it's not something that, like, basically the reason why the skip feature exists is because I added in because there is a feature in the options to just disable all of the progress gates, just open the whole game up. And I, like Mail was saying, it's kind of a nuclear option, and it's just like all or nothing. And I wanted something in between, something that would allow you to just progress like a little bit. And so there has to be a certain amount of trust in the player of, like, they sort of understand. Hopefully they'll be able to play the level, and even if they can't figure out what the solution is, they can at least see what it's trying to teach. That's not always going to be the case. And yeah, there's definitely a risk that people will miss certain concepts.
I have a question for this level. It has 2 exits, and I've reached 1. Do I have to reach both, or
Yes, so this is a perfect example of what we were just talking about. The previous level.
Sorry, I wasn't
The previous
listening.
level teaches
I
you.
wasn't listening. I was playing.
So the previous level teaches you what happens when there's multiple exit tokens.
Really?
Yes, you have to collect both of them.
I didn't see. This one has 2 exits.
Mhm.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, I skipped. I was mixed up because I was stuck. Yeah, I'm happy that I I went through this. I was stuck on the previous level, which is number 8. And I thought I'd skip that because I was stuck, but I finished it. And this one was new. I just tried the feature of skipping. I thought it was that one. And I didn't realize I haven't tried this one. Perfect, perfect. I like it wasn't scripted. And I love it happened. Okay. What engine is the game made on or in? On?
This is a Godot game.
Godot.
Yep.
I see. You need to pick up all. You need to pick up all exits or end up in all exits.
Yep.
But you don't pick up as a token the exit. Why am I not able to? Oh, I think you don't reach the exit. You deliver. I think maybe that's a spoiler, but
Yeah, that's what this level teaches.
that's how I understand it. You don't go to the exit with the tokens. That's how I understood in the demo. You have to deliver. So you bring a token to the exit. That's why I can't. If I go back for everyone to see, I don't have a token going up on the up or on the left in my imaginary backpack. So one of these 3. So these 3 tokens, they need to be delivered on these exits. It's no longer being able to reach the exit. Oh dear. How would you rate the difficulty of the game? You said you like challenge. How would you say 1 to 10? How difficult it is?
So I initially marketed the game as being moderately challenging. And then I actually put it in front of people and got people. Specifically, I had people play the demo. And then I dropped the word moderately because I realized that it was actually pretty challenging for a lot of people. Because I think it is just a weird concept to wrap your head around. So yeah, I mean it's definitely not up there with the most challenging games. This is not a Steven Sausage Roll. This is not a Maxwell's Puzzling Demon. It's definitely not up there. But I would give it 6 or 7. And for the hardest puzzles in the game, maybe an 8.
Is it more difficult because it's your own game? You think?
More difficult to judge what the
rate?
difficulty
Yes.
is. Yeah.
Also, that's a relative question because I haven't played Stephen Sausage, so I don't know. Your 10 is different from my 10.
Yeah, I've never finished Steven Sausage Roll. I think the furthest I've ever gotten was like chapter 3.
I wanted to cheat this level, and the game is more intelligent than me, which is not difficult. I wanted to to deliver these tokens I mean, the game is prepared for my... I had a question, the game already has an answer. I wanted to deliver the tokens one by one. It's like, oh, I'm very smart. I'm going to do one by one and I'll make the level easier. So I can control the movement. But the exits are not open until you pick up all of the tokens. So now I pick up the third one and then I can deliver them. And when I deliver, quote unquote, the token disappears from my inventory. It should be left and right. So I made a mistake. This is left and this is right, and then it's up. Yes, and then up and right, and then up again. Okay, I go through Victory Lap. It's the name of the level. And then because I skipped it before, now it should be marked as completed. And that's how it goes. I had a question. It flew away. You already mentioned the engine. What was I going to ask? It will come back.
Okay.
We talk
Might
about...
be a good time to show the hint feature as well.
Yeah.
Because we haven't looked at that yet.
So, go to the menu, and then hint. Let's find out. I try not to use hints. Maybe I should when I play demos and record videos for the channel, because I'm more playing like to transmit my experience. Unless I'm stuck, I don't use it, but I think sometimes I should use it. It would be okay just to showcase how they work.
Yeah.
So how is this? This is an intermediate step of the intended solution. It's not. This is not a clue. I need to press enter to reveal. I understand.
So this is a clue, but it is intentionally obscured.
In
But
both,
then you can
meanings.
reveal more information if you need it.
So if I press enter now, it'll give me another clue.
It'll show you what the tokens are, which is not very helpful in this puzzle.
That's good. That's good. Let's press enter. I have pressed enter now. Backspace is back. Enter reveal. If I keep pressing, I have to press 2 times for this.
You can press it again, and it'll show the player state as well.
Maybe because I haven't tried. Also, I tried before, but I don't remember what the initial state is. This state is showing me going up to. So this is intermediate set. Intermediate state. Backspace, hint. This is an intermediate step of the intended solution. I understand now. Okay. Information is coming. I'm absorbing very slowly. Intermediate state. It's not like the solution. It's not straight away. It's not telling me which token goes where or the order. It's not saying this one first on the up and this one first, second on the down position. And if we can press again, and then it reveals the exits and the tokens, and again, and it says where the token that's missing, where is it located. So let's try. Backspace is to go back. So the solution is telling me that I need to pick up this one first in the up position. And then I think it can be up, so one possibility is left and down. Let's see, this is close to what I did before. similar because I couldn't. And then one token has been delivered. That token was keeping us from moving as freely as without it. But now we can move better and we can reach the other one. Chapter 2 unlocked. Doesn't mean we have finished. Enter to accept. And go to the menu. It doesn't automatically take you to the optional. You need to do it consciously. And now it says 10 out of 11. It said out of 10 before.
Yep.
Archipelago. Let's see how. So optionals. It's like aside from being optional, it's like red square level. It develops a concept.
Yeah, sort of. So sometimes the challenge puzzles are not necessarily like. Sometimes the point of a challenge puzzle is just like, here's an idea from a previous level, but it's harder. And sometimes it is a new idea, but most of the time I try to keep the new ideas in the main campaign.
I remember this level. And if I remember this level, it's not a good sign. If I remember it, it's for a reason.
People can get stuck on this one for a while.
I remember playing it, and it's one of those that I got stuck for the longest. So, for the sake of dynamism on the interview, I think I'll skip it.
Okay.
And we'll leave it as I should say, oh, I'll leave it up to the viewers for them to solve so they can have their hands on. I'm not showing you the solution. I know the solution. If you want to know the solution, you watch my demo. You'll see I did it, unless the position of the elements have changed during development. I should say that, but I can't. Backspace. I'm an honest person. I can't lie. If I lie, it's very obvious and noticeable, so I don't do it. So I'll be able to. I can finish it, but it'll take me longer than the interview to finish it.
Yeah.
This one has 10. It's chapter 2. 10 levels, 3 optionals. So it's 10 plus 3. So those 94, they are counting the optionals.
Yep.
Okay. 3, 4, 5. Beautiful art. Which 7 looks like the cover art for the game. And 8. This artistic designs, they led me to, I think, I think it's personal. At a personal level, my most interesting question, which is about the art. I haven't asked the art. I should have asked before. Usually I ask midway through the gameplay. How the art was made, who made the art, or why did you make these choices, why these colors and everything. Before I ask the question, I haven't asked before, yet. I have asked, but not officially. How are we doing with breaks? Do you need a break? We can continue.
I would love to get a little bit more water.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm ready to just keep going.
We can do 5 minutes or 3 minutes. 3-minute break.
Yeah, 3-minute break.
Okay. We come back in 3 minutes.
All right.
Okay. Good to go?
Yep.
Jagrif says, I also remember this level from the Jam version. That level has seen things. I have 2 more questions.
Okay.
One is art, one is accessibility for the gameplay part. Accessibility, you have commented a few things. I'll ask if there's something else to say. But for the art, I want to, more than ask a question, is express more like a process I've been through of understanding how I see the games, because I review games, so I have to give my opinion, and not with Clover's Quadrants, but with other games. Recently, I've had a situation where I was describing the art, for example, in Clover's Quadrants, but the music in another game that I have in my mind what that happened. Actually, two games. Where I was in my review, I was giving my opinion, or I don't give as much as my opinion, but as describing what the art or the music of the other games in general. And I realized afterwards, after publishing my my review, that it wasn't an original work. So I played another game, and it had some music. And then sometime later, I played another game which had the same music, and I had this feeling of, I've been doing this review saying that the music is beautiful, but the music is not original for the game. And now I'm playing this other game which has the same music, and I was like, I was feeling betrayed, kind of, not exactly, but it's like how I had a problem not understanding how I should feel. Like, is this okay for me to accept, or should I mention it, or should it's like AI, I should not accept it? And something similar happened with the visuals for another game, and it happened with Clover's Quadrants. So before it was UDLR, before Clover's Quadrant it was UDLR. At that time I played or seen screenshots or played the demo already at that time, and then I played a different game, which it's not relevant now, it's not important, and it had very, very, very similar art, and I thought they had stolen the art from you. And then I asked you, did you know about this situation? And you said it's from a set pack, or an asset pack, a group of visuals they are already designed for developers to be used in games. And after going through the process, this of 5 stages of duel going through, I think I've come to terms with how I understand this situation, and I think it's okay, because if I were to, for example, design a building, I design everything, but I don't make the bricks, I don't make the mortar, I don't make everything myself. I either have someone who already providing this source of elements, or I direct someone to make them for me. I think it would have been easier if in this other game the music was not made by the developer but directed. Like, I want someone else, not me, but someone else to make the music for this game like this or that, this way or the other way. There's like some direction, but it wasn't the case. So I don't know how to feel, and maybe you can help me. I want to share this I've unloaded my brain of ideas and what I think and how I feel. The coming back to the interview, the art for Clover's Quadrants, it's stunning, but it's from an asset pack, right?
Yeah. So it's I definitely have confused feelings on it. I base the visual style of the game around this asset pack. Um, and I was a little surprised. I shouldn't have been surprised that there were other games that had the same idea to use this asset pack, because there weren't any notable games, no games that I know of that were using this asset pack. And I think the important thing is, like, when you're looking at multiple games that are using the same stock music, is it there's multiple questions there of, like, how well does the music fit, and what was the intent and usage of the music? Is this um like, how carefully was someone curating the list of songs for this game? How well do they actually fit? Um, and how much originality is being brought to it? So if it's just background music in a game, it's just you plop the audio file in and you hit play. That's kind of all there is to it. Um, but that's different from, say, someone taking really commonly used samples and using that to create original music. And I think that's roughly what I would sort of consider how I've used the asset pack in this game. It's more like taking a recognizable sample and trying to do something more original with it, rather than just like dropping it in and calling it a day.
Knowing the other game that I'm talking about but not talking about, I agree that they both use the same, or I don't know, and I don't know exactly how the asset is made of, what it consists of, but I have an eye and I can recognize some things. That's why I came to you with the question. I wasn't sure. So that means that for me they are different. They are very similar. Like, it felt to me like the other game was inspired on yours. So, and I'm saying this, one, I'm not criticizing using asset packs. I think I understand now the reason why, and I accept it. And the second is, I'm saying that both games are very different. As you just said, it's not the same as with a whole track of music. That's what happened with the other game. It was a detective game and it had kind of jazz music on the background. And I felt, oh, it's okay. I played for a long time that game, and when I played the other game that had the same music, it was not a detective game. It was more like spatial logic, or grid based, like Clover Quadrants. And I was playing that game, and I felt I was playing the first game, the one that originally I heard music with, that track. And I had this problem, like, I'm playing this game, but I feel like it's like it belongs to the other game. It's like I'm playing Clover Quadrants with Super Mario music. It's like, oh, I have a clash of things are clashing in my mind.
Yeah.
So I can say I have seen both. They look different. It's like two games from the same. It's not, but two different games from the same author, but they are different, kind of. Um, So thank you for clarifying or extending the idea on that. I need to, in this level, I have one more question. This level looks like I need to finish here going up, but I can't pick this red orange token going up. So we'll have to do something. I think I'll leave the question as a cliffhanger. The very last question, I can't believe we've been already 2 hours with the interview. Feels like 5 minutes. Accessibility, you said you activated these white markers by default. I'm not taking them off. I think they should be on, so that's good. Did you take any other decisions regarding accessibility?
Yeah. So one thing is color blindness. So all the tokens have different colors, but the what I call the atlas in the top right, that actually provides the symbols. It tells you like on your right side, it's not just, oh, your right side is red. It's this is the symbol for the right side. And so that basically makes the game playable in black and white. You don't need any sort of color information. It's just the color information helps. And I think that's the main feature that I would consider to be accessibility. There's a bit of a debate in the sort of accessibility in games community about like what is accessibility and what isn't, because there are certain features that might make the game easier to play or better to play in different ways, but it's not necessarily what you would call accessibility, because it's not really about accommodating a disability specifically. So when I talk about the move previews that we're looking at right now, that's something that I've just been calling an assist feature. It helps you play the game, but it's really not about accommodating disability. It's kind of a different thing. And so the color blindness, I think, is the main thing that is a accessibility feature. The other ones I would consider to be assist features or approachability features. So it's kind of different, but it's semantics.
Parity assist displays which tiles are or are not accessible due to parity or 0. That's the hash, the lines.
Yep.
And it's on screen graphics. I'm looking for the colorblind.
There is no colorblind.
There's
feature.
no need to activate because it's okay.
Yeah. However, there is minimal UI at the bottom of the graphics menu. And so that hides the right panels so that you just have the level. Because some people prefer playing it that way. But that gets rid of the colorblind accessibility.
Don't know how to feel about that. Yeah, it's good that it can be deactivated in case there are seekers, puzzle seekers that want to play this way.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, maybe for
I specifically added this because someone requested it.
It's good that it's an option, but I would play with it on, like, showing everything.
Yep.
Because I don't play. If I were to play for myself, I wouldn't mind either way, unless I'm stuck and then I want the assist. But I usually play not just for me, I play for others, so I need to have it activated because it's to cater everyone. What
Yep.
was I going to fun? Unlimited shake. Woke on. Okay. I'll leave that option for everyone to play with. Move preview. Okay, that's bindings. Language. It's not in Spanish. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, sorry.
You just need to
Just
ask.
English, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, and Japanese. It was based on wish list data. Like, apparently China is the second biggest market for this game.
It's easy to be that way because the second, I think it's the second
They're a
country.
large country. Yeah.
So surely it's not going to be the Vatican. That's on top of the list. I'm saying it now. You just need to ask because it doesn't have a dialogue. Has a long script. It's something that it's attainable for me.
Yeah. I would definitely like to get the game in more languages, but one of the things that I have been learning with localization is that it's difficult and time consuming. And so I wanted to stick to the ones that I felt were the most important, get those ready for the game launch, and then I could worry about the other ones later.
How do you know Chinese or what languages are?
I paid translators
You
to
got someone.
do that work for me. Yep.
It's very easy to fall onto the automatic translations nowadays because they are quick and cheap. But I can tell you, I played Elfie a Sand Plan recently, and I think it's the first one I've ever done to play completely in, aside from streaming, for review. I played myself for review on Spanish. Never played any other game in since I've started streaming completely in Spanish, and it makes a world of difference to have someone who knows the language, and even better if they are professional. It makes the difference. It's noticeable.
Okay.
Which is not me. I won't make the difference. I can do it, but I wouldn't say I'm a professional. Let's move on to the fourth part.
All right.
If you are happy. Let me check. I haven't missed like before. You described the game, said what makes it unique, inspiration, story, mechanics, taboo, how long the game is, design process, difficulty, engine, art, music, and sound, accessibility. No one can complain. I covered a lot of topics. Let's move on to the fourth part, which carries some, holds some more, a little bit more general, not so specific on the design decisions, but as zooming out with considering the project as a whole. Did you make the game that you wanted to make, or did you make concessions?
There were definitely some ideas I had towards the end of ways that I could have done the game differently. I don't know if I would consider it a concession, but I do regret the level select system, because it's all just, it's menus. And one of the pieces of feedback that I got was, one is that there's a lot of menus. You spend a lot of time in the game just in the menus and navigating around. But I also heard from someone else that they really liked the atmosphere of the game, and having to go into those menus all the time kind of took away from the atmosphere. And I think if the level select screen was more of like a world that you could explore, where you're like physically moving between the puzzles or like moving between the buttons where you can select each puzzle. I think that would have added to the atmosphere of things, but I think it would have also allowed me to be a little bit more deliberate about the progression, because when you put all of your levels in an ordered list, it's very much like this is the order that you're going to play them in. There's just kind of one correct order. But when you start getting into level select screens that are more like branched out or more like sort of spatial in nature, that allows you to start sort of grouping levels. Just like, here's a collection of 4 levels. You can play them in any order you want. And I think having that additional freedom would have made the game better.
That usually ends up in meta puzzles, which
Yeah.
you have to be careful with that. Maybe an addition after. I mean, we are already in after, but the future.
I don't see myself going back and changing that. It's just a thing to think about for the next game.
Fair. What was the hardest part of the development?
Hardest part of development.
It was easy.
That's a good question.
Everything was easy.
No, definitely not.
Everything was hard. Then everything was hard.
I want to say the thing that gave me the most headaches was actually the music, because the way that the music is integrated into the game, it's not just here's a 4-minute loop. What it's actually doing under the hood is every instrument is its own layer, and the game is dynamically turning those layers on and off so that it's sort of randomly creating different arrangements of the music, so that the overall repetitiveness of the music is actually like much longer than you would get than with just a standard like 3 to 4 minute music loop. But what I ran into was just tons and tons of technical issues. There was there was genuinely a point during development where I was just like, I don't know if I can get this thing to stop crashing. Like it was actually driving me insane just trying to get the audio middleware to actually like function. So I mean, it resulted in like, there was a solid week where I would like boot up the game in the morning, get it running, and then go to work and come back like during my lunch break to see if the game had crashed, and then try and figure out why it had crashed. And I don't even remember what all the solutions were, but it ended up being something stupid like because the music is made of all the different layers. Instead of sending the program all of the data at once instantly of here's the layers to turn on and off, instead I had to write the code so that it was like, okay, every few frames send another command instead of overloading it with all of the commands at once. And that actually solved the issue. So that was the biggest nightmare during development, was that specific bug.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy that you commented that on the sound, because I asked you during the game section about the music, but we talk about the music that you make, not how you made the music for Clover's Quadrants. So I'm happy that you went back to that and made this explanation and reference. Did you consider your cat being the culprit for the game crashing? Did you have a camera while you were not present?
No, I mean, I definitely ran into the issue happening in front of me. That's how I became aware of it, was just the I would be testing the game and then it would randomly crash. But
So I asked you before the hardest part of development, and as I always say, I expect the interviewees to say marketing. Marketing is the hardest part, because if you make a game, usually you know, that's why because you know how to make a game, but not necessarily have to know how to sell a game, which are two different things that they go together. So I mentioned before that you said you recommended everyone who wants to make a game to not make a game searching or for the money purpose, searching. You do it because you want, because you're happy just making it and finishing it, but not because it's going to make money. I'm going back to that comment. How do you feel about marketing?
It's definitely pretty difficult. It definitely does not come natural to me. I think the trailers that I have produced for the game are frankly not amazing. They're perfectly serviceable. They get the job done, but they're definitely not amazing. But I also go into it with the full knowledge of, like, you know, I don't need the game to do well, and I'm going to just,
Sorry, there is a tail waving in front of your face.
Yeah,
on the camera. It's a little bit distracting, but it's fine also.
I think as far as like marketing the game, I mean, producing all the marketing materials and doing all that stuff is definitely something that does not come naturally to me. The other thing that I've been doing is just like putting myself out there and interacting with people. So like I talk about my games a lot. I do interviews like this. I do an interview like this because I haven't done any others, but it's also about just like building connections with people, being nice to hang out with and talk to, being generous with my time, and spending time with other people, talking to them about their games and being interested in what they're doing, just being someone who's nice to be around. And I think that can do a lot for you in terms of, like, if you're going to post your game on social media, you have more connections. It allows your game to reach a little bit further that way. And at least in my experience, word of mouth and influencers and people who have a lot of followers on social media, that is one of the biggest ways to sort of get your game out there. And that is the thing that I think I've found the most success with.
I have to explore more of. So I do agree that you don't have to make a game to make money, but at the same time, I think that for those who are expecting just the minimum, they should consider marketing at the same time as they are making the game. For me, I think the best way is to share the process of making the game. So you don't make marketing is not a separate thing that you start when the game is done. They go together. They go at the same time. As you make a level, you post it and you ask for feedback, and then you share it. You make a character, you make a song, you ask everyone who on socials what they think. Sadly, nowadays, socials are not for socializing, but one has to try, because there are very little places nowadays that you can socialize as not being sold all the time things. Talking about the market, it's a little bit follow-up question with marketing. Puzzle games market, how do you feel coming into the current situation? Does it have opportunity, or is it oversaturated?
I think it totally depends on the type of game you're making and how appealing, like how immediately appealing it is. So like if you can show, if you have the type of game where you can explain the concept to someone and they immediately get it and they immediately see why they would enjoy playing it, I think that's how you become successful. But I mean, there's a million ways to do it. There is no one tried and true method of finding success within puzzle game niche. I am meandering with the answer to this question. I don't know. I think
I'd like you to share some of these options to make
I mean, I honestly don't know. I'm not the most experienced person at this sort of thing. But I think, like, at least with the success that I have found with my game, which I don't even know if it really is successful by typical standards, but I think a lot of it has to do with having an appealing art style, having connections, people to spread the word of the game, and having a concept that is immediately understandable and immediately interesting.
It definitely has different aspects that intervene in making a game successful. But talking about success, I think this question started with Jagreev's interview. What do you consider success?
What do I consider success? I don't know. There's different tiers of success. You know, I could say the game was successful because I actually finished and launched it.
That could be
like that's a success in its own. I could say that the game has been successful because I have shown it to my friends and they really like it, and they're finding something interesting with it. I could call it successful because people within the puzzle game niche are enjoying it. Or I could pull up, statistics of it and say like, oh, the game is successful because it's gotten this number of sales, or this number of wish lists. But I try not to think about those too much because I think those are very arbitrary, and that like the thresholds of success are going to vary a lot depending on who is making the particular game, or what their goals are. For me, I considered just giving this game away for free. It was definitely on my mind, and there were some reasons that I didn't. But I think one of the big reasons is I would like to be able to hire people to help me with the next game. And so I think one of my tiers of success is how much money am I making off of this thing, and how much does that allow me to hire other people to do work for me to make an even better game next time.
That goes with the expectations you have for yourself in the future. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Like if you are more ambitious, you have higher goals because you expect more things in the future, make greater things in the future. Or there's people who make all of their games for free on itch or a web browser, and they're happy with that because they do it for fun, for themselves, even for their own pride of having finished something. So its success is different for each one, and yours is
Yeah, and I can talk about the reasons why I felt that I needed to sell the game. One is, I mean, to get money to pay people in the future, but it's also, free games. I think people tend to take free games a little bit less seriously. When you put a price tag on something, people actually pay a little bit more attention. It's just a weird psychological thing. Um, and then it's also a thing of like, there's this whole concept of the race to the bottom. I'm in a somewhat privileged position because I'm not a full-time game developer. I'm not relying on this to make a living. And I don't want to sort of undercut the competition, so to speak, just because I have the privilege of having a full-time job and not needing to rely on this for money. And then also it's a thing about like charity bundles. Like if someone wants to put together, here's a charity bundle that's got a bunch of games in it and you pay $20 and all the profit goes to charity. Putting free games in those bundles is just kind of like, I don't know. I think I wouldn't say it's pointless, because it does get more people to buy the bundle, but it just feels wrong. Like having a price tag on the game makes it a little bit more meaningful and allows me to put it in one of those bundles, in a way that sort of like makes sense to me.
Going back to Clover's Quadrants, what's beyond the release? Today is the release for everyone to know. From now on, you mentioned very briefly that you're not planning on making big changes, so probably
not. I don't want to make big changes to the game. I think the state that it's in is good. If there's any like a really obvious stuff that I can change that won't like seriously affect the overall structure of it, I can see myself making small updates based on feedback, but I think for the most part, I want the game to be done. But at the same time, like I talked about that scraps level pack that I want to put that together and release that sometime in the near future. And then I've got a few ideas for different item types that I never got around to trying out. And so maybe there will be some additional level packs in the future exploring some of those, but that's not a promise. I don't know if that'll actually happen or not.
It's interesting when players want more of a game, but the developer doesn't. It's like,
I'm so done.
I'm done.
I am so done with working on this game. I'm exhausted.
So for you personally, after Clover's Quadrants, whatever the point of leaving it behind is, you're making another game, another puzzle game. Can you mention its secret?
Yeah, so I've got a lot of ideas for what I want to do next. I've got some music project, a music project in the works that I kind of want to focus on. I've got a couple of other game ideas that, I'm not done with game development. I have too many ideas that I want to try out. So like one of the ideas I have is, and it's the game we were talking about earlier of like an industrial building with a sunset and all that. So I have some ideas on how I want to completely redo that game and do something else with it. And I have another game idea that would be the game that I would hire people to work on, because it would require like character art and maybe 3D models and stuff that I'm not capable of doing. Someone's shooting fireworks outside. Huh.
They are celebrating the release of of Clover's Quadrants.
Yep.
They
No, I think that's,
they
I think it's from the baseball stadium. Yeah, it's the baseball stadium.
they just got the memo.
Yeah, I have an idea for a game that's like about a postal service run by like bird people, and so you have to plan out the mailing routes. So it would be kind of a Hamiltonian path kind of game where you're tracing a path and you've got to visit all the houses in the area. But there's a bunch of additional wrinkles on top of that make it more complicated and interesting, and I won't spoil any of that.
Are they puzzle games? So the birds one,
Yes.
both.
Yep.
Okay. We can keep being friends then. I think that's all from me. Now would be the
Special
moment.
question.
It would be the moment for the chat questions. But there was one from Jagrif, and you already answered because it was fitting at the moment. So we move on to the special question, which is, we can no longer call it special, but the guest question. Meaning that my previous interviewee left a question for you.
Ooh.
And at the same time, I will ask you to leave a question for the next one.
Okay.
The reason is to keep the, aside from being funny and silly, it's an excuse for me to talk about Travel Friendly Cake, who developed Puzzle Spy International, which released, was it a month and a half, almost 2 months ago?
That's really
And
that long ago? Yeah, I guess it might have been. Yeah.
it looks, for me, time goes in two different speeds. Sometimes I feel like it was ages, like it feels like it was 4 months ago. And I was thinking before the interview, because it was the previous one, and there are things and I was counting it, just 2 months. Usually it took like 6 months between interviews, because I wasn't doing that many. I want to do more, but I also have a life and I want to feel alive. I don't have time for everything. I do too many things. Sometimes I feel like I'm putting out fires more than creating content, but that's me. That's a me problem. Puzzle Spy International from Travel Friendly Cake, who were before you, Mike and Talia. It's a puzzle game. It's a spy puzzle game with a dash of visual novels. Very interesting. It's quite short, but it's good. It's like short but intense. They left a question for you, and maybe I ask, or we can wait like 5 minutes for the firework, because it looks like it's.
Can you hear that?
Looks like you have this fibro cement corrugated roof, and someone's stepping on it, like it's raining on it or something. Yeah, it's like, or the popcorn machine is going to go off. Oh, they stopped suddenly.
I think they might be done.
I think they're watching the stream. They heard me. Okay, we can move on, and then I will ask you. First, I'll ask the question from Travel Friendly Cake, and then while I share your contacts for anyone who wants to keep up with your work and progress and everything that you do, while I share your socials, you think about the question you leave in the time capsule for the future.
Okay.
I need to ask you to mute your microphone and activate the sound from the stream. And I will do, for the first time, this is new. It's never happened before. Now you're listening to me through the stream. It's the first time that I do this. It can go wrong. It probably will go wrong, but I'll try. I need to try to test it. If you don't try, you don't know. Usually ask the question myself. Like I transmit the question. I am the carrier, the messenger. Not this time. You will hear the question from Mike himself.
My question to the next interviewee: if you're a developer, this is easy. If you're not a developer, pretend you're a developer. Your next game that you're making, either realistically or hypothetically, has to be a license. It can be a license of you can make another game, you can make a TV show into a game, you can make a movie into a game, you can make a comic into a game. You have to do a licensed game. What license do you pick and why? You can do whatever you want. Like, is there an old game that you want to remake? Is there a new game you want to remake? Is there a TV show you've been dying to turn into a visual novel? Whatever it is, like, you have to make a licensed game. What license do you choose and why?
Now there's less degrees of separation between you and Mike. You can revert the sound now. Now you can mute the stream and activate your microphone.
Okay.
The first time I've done this. A licensed game. Which one?
Licensed game. What would I do?
You need to say Puzzles by International.
I don't know. There might be something weird about telling another indie developer, like, I want to remake your game.
Or make a sequel. Everything is possible. Puzzle Quadrant.
This is a stupid answer.
Oh, please share.
I don't remember how long ago this was. It was many, many, many years ago. I had a dream about a officially licensed Lion King turn-based parkour game.
Tell me more. Sounds interesting.
I'm not sure what else there is to say. You play as Simba. It's a parkour game, but it's all like isometric tile based, and somehow you do parkour in it. I don't know how the mechanics of it would actually work, but yeah, that was a dream I had once.
It's more on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater or on the Mirror's Edge?
More Mirror's Edge.
First person Lion King.
Or maybe like Prince of Persia.
That would be more easy to figure out because it's a person, it's not a lion. But I imagine the lion walking on Simba or walking on 2 feet. Funny. Thank you for your answer. I will ask you now to think one for the next interviewee. There's also an unwritten rule where Jeremy, who's no Ru, answers all of the guest questions, but he seems might be on holiday today. So anyone who wants to follow Eidolon, I'm sharing your Blue Sky profile on the chats because this is multi-streaming. The magic of multi-streaming. I'll try here. What happens if I do this? It goes on to Twitch. So if you are watching on Twitch, you have a link to the Blue Sky profile of Eidolon. If you are on YouTube, on the contrary, there is nothing. So that doesn't work for YouTube. Interesting. So I'm sharing it now. You have... it didn't come through. Oh, it did. Yes, it works. Yeah. Okay, so if you are on YouTube, you have the link now. That's the best way to keep up with what's next. These 2 games Eidolon was talking about. The best way to follow her work. And if there's any DLC pack for Clover's Quadrants. Hello, Liari. Hey, welcome in. I am just sharing Eidolon's profile. Hello, hello, hello. We are close to the end of the interview. Not just yet, but very close. Let me bring back. It's a nightmare to bring back when you have all your windows, but they are overlapping, and you touch one, and the rest disappear.
Yeah.
Okay, going back. Clover's Quadrants. I'll give you a few more seconds. Are you ready? Clover's Quadrants is already available. I'll let you know where you can find them, but I don't. You have your question for the future.
Yep. Okay. So, you have unlimited budget. Nothing you do here needs to make any sort of financial success. You have the opportunity to make a game with whatever peripheral you want. It can be something completely original, but think of like Guitar Hero, where you've got the plastic guitar controller. Dance Dance Revolution, you've got the dance mat, the Wiimote, the Wii U gamepad. You can invent whatever kind of peripheral you want. What's the game and what's the peripheral? What are you making?
Very interesting.
That's my question.
Very interesting. I'm suddenly overflown with games coming from Japan, which have this, at least in the even before the Wii era, there were some weird peripherals and arcade machines that had some very weird things. But I'd like to know in the first interviewee what they think. Maybe they don't know about all these myriad of Japanese games. It's like what they come up with. Thank you for that. I don't have any more questions from me. I don't have questions from the chat or from previous guests. So I can only say, would you like to ask anything else?
I don't think so.
Did this feel like 3 hours to you?
Not quite 3 hours, and it was definitely a little long. But I'm also like, my body is telling me I need to go to sleep.
Okay.
Because I usually fall asleep at least an hour right now.
Yeah. Not long to wrap up everything up. Just for me to say that Clover's Quadrants is available from today, whatever today or whatever, whenever today is in your timeline. You can find it on Steam and also on itch. The version is the same, right?
Itch is ever so slightly out of date right now, but it's the same game.
Out of date, like it's the same game. It's not like a demo.
I made some very minor adjustments to the localization, and I just haven't gotten to updating on itch.
Okay, understood.
But they will be the same version of the game.
Okay, then for clarity, you can find them on both platforms. And if you happen to try, please tell me about it. Let me know what you think, or let Eidolon know, even better. And if you do try, also important to leave a review. Not only wishlisting, but there are many ways to help a dev, especially an indie dev, not just with wishlisting. So keep that in mind. Nothing else. I wish you the best. I hope to see you around here soon, the soonest possible. And all the best for you and Clover's Quadrants.
Thank you for having me. This was good.
Thank you so much. I'll move on to this other screen. Now that she's not listening, I'll say it forever. It will be UDLR for me. In my heart, it's UDLR. But you don't tell her. You didn't hear that from me. That's been all for today. The interview. I'm repeating myself, but it's been very interesting. The insight that every developer has always adds like a little bit of extra information on how I understand and what I know about games. That's hopefully the same for you. For me personally, I'm not sure I can come back next week. I hope I do. It won't be on Saturday at this time. I've tried it before, but this is a special case. Usually on Thursdays, my Thursdays. Probably it's your Wednesday. Not sure if I'll come back next week. You'll have to watch this space. Not this space because this is a stream. It will be off, but on socials you can find out if I'll be streaming or not. I don't like last time decisions. I like to announce in advance, but I have some things happening that require my presence. Some people can live without me, like the plumber. So we'll see if I can stream. Otherwise, you have plenty of ways to find me. I'm on YouTube and I'm on the Discord. I'm on Blue Sky. The Discord is no clue. You can find the link on my profile, either if you are watching on YouTube or on Twitch. And it's very easy to find. It's on the About section. And I recommend you to join if you are interested minimum into puzzle games. You have a fun time. Nothing else from me. I'd like to thank everyone watching stream, everyone in the chat, and I hope to see you next time, which will be the soonest. Thank you for sharing your time with me, and until next time, bye bye now, waving with my hand like all people I am. Bye bye, see you next time.